So now we have our strategy, which is reduce customer effort and collapse the time from receipt of the claim to payment of the claim. But how do we do that? By what method? Well, the first thing we have to understand is what are the exact reasons for high cost and high effort for the customer. Now, to do that, we have to understand three things. One, we have to go and actually study the work itself. We have to see what happens step by step between request to pay the claim and actually paying it. Second is we have to understand what caused that work design. What are the policies and measures, the relationships between the work itself and the policies that cause the work to be that way? Finally, and this is the big one, we have to understand the logic, the management thinking that created those policies and outcomes that ultimately affected the customer. You see, what we have to do is we have to learn how to study work. That's the big secret skill. Let me show you. The first thing we do is we establish the purpose of the system. Well, in a claim system, it's really quite easy. The purpose is pay the claim as quickly as possible for the customer and in an efficient manner. Second thing we have to do is we have to start by getting data on what's happening against that purpose. Well, if we look at this exact case and we get data over time, what we see is that it's actually taking up to 306 days to pay a claim. And again, if the initial purpose is pay the claim, well, 1,000 come in every year and only 400 are paid within the same time period. Well, that tells us what's going on, but not why it's going on. Here, what we have to do is we have to actually follow the work through as if we were the work itself. Now, this is called the why of performance. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the world from the customer's perspective. In a claims centre, a customer is going to call in. Now, when you study the nature of demand, you'll see, as we did in this one, 53% of the demand was value demand, demand that you want, but 47% was failure demand, which is demand created as a result of failure to actually do the right thing for the customer. When somebody picks up those calls, 20% are passed back straight away. No value created. 30% are handled one stop, the simple ones, and 50% go into the queues. Can you see that even at this first stop, little value has been created here, as the focus, because of the targets, is get the customer off the phone and send the work through to the back office. Another big part of leadership logic, front and back office design. Well, what happens in the queues? Work sits in all of these different queues, and each queue, in this case, was managed by a different team. Each queue has its own service level agreement, 3 days to handle the work. But that's only when the work wakes up. When the work is sleeping, it's not counted because the clock stops. Now, when it does wake up, if no new information is presented, it's put back to sleep for 2 to 3 weeks. As I say, that duration is not counted. And actually what's happening is that all the numbers look good up to leadership. Actually, when you look at the end-to-end time, you see, in this case, it's taking around 300 days. Now, once again, no value has been created for the customer, even though thousands of transactions have been done. The policy here is manage the queues, hit your call handling time, hit your SLAs. The logic, the thinking is, if we keep everyone busy, then actually that's going to help us do the right thing for the customer, but it doesn't, because the purpose has become comply with the SLAs. The customer is forgotten. Costs rise and service falls. You will only see this and be able to challenge your own logic and understand the relationship between the logic, the policies, and what's happening in the work when you learn how to study. And I'm going to show you how you can access that skill in our next video.